Hello. Today I'm going to show you a couple of quilts that I have finished, and I'm going to do a little stash dive of my quilt pattern um, box that I have. Let's talk quilts first. So this first quilt is based on the cover quilt from the Triangles on a Row quilts by It's So Emma Patterns from Fat Quarter Shop. So that's what the pattern looks like. And I used a combination of Valentine's fabrics. I think I was in the Valentine's Club for a while for Fat Quarters, and so I had a lot of different Valentine's fabrics. Try to show this off. And then I combined it with a few other prints from my stash. I think these mint greens were an addition. And so I don't know. It was my first time using Triangles on a Roll. I really liked it. I felt like it worked out well. And quilt I save for my guest room, so I don't want my dogs laying on it, so it doesn't get washed as much as the other quilts, so it holds up a lot better than some of the ones that get used all the time. And then for the binding, I just used some pink fabric I had in stash. And so anyway, that's my first quilt. Love this one. The next one is my first quilt that I made when I was a teenager. I had help with a quilt when I was really little, and then when I was probably 15 or 16, I decided to make my own quilt. I think I had started watching Font and Porter on PBS, love Liz Porter, and I picked up a book from my library. Now, this is something I have since purchased, but I had this book from the library. It's the Thimbleberries Guide for Weekend Quilters. It has 90s vibes all over it. And I think I picked up this used from Amazon a couple years back because I wanted to remake the quilt. This is the quilt that I made. It says make it in a weekend. I guess one busy weekend for someone, but it's the piece of cake quilt and just beautiful hourglass units and patchwork. And that was my first quilt that I made. Now, the binding is in rough shape. We'll prepare you in advance. It's something that I plan on removing and redoing. But here's my quilt that I made when I was 15. So this quilt is well over 20 years old. And when I went to Joann's to buy the fabric, I think I picked and it's so faded, but I picked this yellow first, and I liked the colors, and then I picked the other colors based on what I saw. And then what I need to redo is at the time didn't know what I didn't know, and I bought like this ribbon binding and put this on. Didn't know what I was doing. Like it's very much a messy job, and there's spots where like it's just completely like falling apart. So that's something I will rebind at some point, and I will make a video. I haven't decided if it's easier to get the seam ripper out and seam rip it off, or if it needs to be cut off. But this is what a quilt looks like after 20 years of hard use and a lot of washing, and it's cozy and has a lot of memories, and something that I want to remake as well. I want to take that pattern from the Thimbleberries book, and I don't know if I want to do it in Christmas fabrics or patriotic fabrics, but I kind of want to do like a remake of that just for fun. The third quilt I'm going to show today is a quilt I made during the pandemic. I did a lot of quilting during the pandemic, I'm realizing as I'm looking at my projects yesterday and today. And Lori Holtz, I don't know if it's still on her blog or not, but she had a free scrappy block along, and it was so much fun. It went on for a long time, and I made all the blocks, and it went through my stash. And this is like if you're a knitter and you know the cozy memory blanket where people take leftovers and make this blanket. This is like the quilting equivalent because it has like memories going back to my childhood of fabrics that I don't know that just had forever. Fabrics from early on when I was learning to sew. There's some in here where let's see if I can find it, like where like this was a dress I had when I was little, and just fabric that this goes way back in time. And this one was so much fun to make. This was my first time doing is it free motion quilting on my Juki machine, and honestly I really like how it came out. And I'm no expert on free motion quilting, but I like how it comes out as opposed to fighting with like trying to do straight lines, and sometimes you inevitably get little tucks and folds. And so something I want to get more into, especially because I have all those unfinished quilts I need to work on. But yeah, so just something that's held up well. It's been washed a million times. Yeah. So just tons of blocks. I love scrappy quilts like this too. I've started, if I'm making a bigger project, a lot of times I'll make a sample block and I'm just, see, that's fancy, and I fussy cut this map fabric because it said Caroline on it. And anyway, I love just scrappy quilts, and I've started just making blocks and just setting them aside. And anyway, so that is one of my cozy memory scrappy quilts, just fabrics that I liked. And I mean, this is fabric from a quilt I sewed when I was a little girl. It's out in a box somewhere, but if I find it, I'll have to show you. Let's see. Yeah, but just memories, lots of lovely fabrics. This fabric here, both of these, I actually had clothes in those fabrics when I was little. And anyway, so much fun. Scrappy quilts. I want to make another kind of quilt like that this year, using the Lori Holt books, and just kind of see what I can come up with. Kind of like a faded patriotic, but with, I'm picturing like all of like her like blocks where she has like corn and pumpkins and tomatoes. It's kind of like a farmy theme. We'll see. I don't know if I have time to do it, but in my mind, it looks good. So anyway, so let me show you some of my patterns. Do a little pattern show and tell. So this is Heart at Home by Chelsea Stratton Designs, and most of these you can get on their Etsy or sometimes on Fat Quarter Shop as well. Always wanted to make this quilt. I love the hearts in the middle of the log cabin blocks. I have pomade. And I like these because I feel like it's a fun way to use a collection of fabrics. If you have like a Fat Quarter collection, something like this is fun because you know the fabrics are going to go together, and then it looks really good. And oh, this is another one. I'm just going to say that for all of these. Forest Drive. Really like this one. And then I've got coriander quilts. She has a whole bunch of mini quilts. I had this idea at some point that I wanted to sew a whole bunch of mini quilts and then just put them together into one big quilt. We'll see. Just scrap basket stars. Oh, this one looks so pretty, but that looks intense. Hourglass scraps. I don't know that I would make an entire 60 by 72 of that, but who knows? That could be something where you just keep a little basket of them, and then eventually, this goes with the mystery block of the month from, anyway, but you just keep a little basket of the hourglasses, then eventually have a quilt. Jelly roll patchwork. Another mini quilt. She has a bunch of barn stars. Just gonna keep going through my patterns here. This one is Marcus Fabrics. I think I had this as a kit. I don't think I ever sewed this kit though, but I don't know if I used this fabric for something else. I'll have to look at some point. But this is a flannel quilt pattern, so, and I know I have other flannel fabric in my stash, so I could make this with that if I wanted to. Made this as a wedding present for someone a couple years ago, and this is the Fanciful Meadow by It's So Emma Patterns, a Fat Quarter Shop. Oh, actually, sorry, by, that was in their Fat Quarter Club quarterly, but it's probably on their website. This one was fun to make. Oh, this is another cute one. Hello, Fall. I like Chelsea Stratton Designs, as you can tell. I'm just going to say that for all of her patterns. I just want to make all of them. And then I think this one is another, I don't know if the log cabin blocks are, this one uses honey buns, so the blocks would be smaller. It doesn't say how large the blocks finish at, but that might be some pretty project bags. I don't know, or like a tote bag for those. This one is Coastal Summer. I think this one came free with an order. Scrappy chevrons. Oh, like the Chelsea Stratton Designs fangirl over here. Little Town. Isn't that adorable? And then some of these I think came with other things. This is Enchanted Quilt by Fat Quarter Shop. Let's see, what else do I have here? Oh, I was in the Project Sweetwater Club for a while, and so they sent a little pattern book. That's cute. Project bag. This is a divided basket. Learn how to sew that. I want to learn how to sew all things. Coriander quilt, star striped. This one looks cute with the patriotic patchwork. I could see doing that scrappy. I could even see doing the stars with different colors of blue or different scraps of blue. That could be really pretty. Basket bliss. Some more barn stars. So I've got, and on Corey Orders Etsy, she has all of her patterns. That one's cute. But this is the one where I wanted to make a massive quilt with all of these on it. Granted, if they're all 2 foot well size block 2 foot wide blocks, like it's going to be a very big quilt. So I might have to narrow down. So this one is Fair Isle Hearts by Fig Tree & Co. That one would be pretty scrappy with just different pinks and reds. I like scrappy quilts. And then we have Somerville by Thimble Blossoms. I like this one. This is Winterville. That would be a pretty Christmas quilt. Then I think these would be a nice project bag. I've got a lot of cross stitch projects, so I could sew a lot of project bags and still use all of them. So this is from, I want to say, yeah, Lori Holt. And the packaging is adorable on these. And so these I want to turn into project bags at some point. So this is Calico Tomatoes. Calico Peppers. I need to see if she's made more of these because these are adorable. Calico Corn and Peas. Like that needs to go in this quilt that I'm picturing with all of the like the farmy patriotic things. Like that needs to be a block in that quilt. And then we've got Calico Squash. Again, just the cutest packaging. It's very vintage. Calico root vegetables. Maybe this whole thing needs to be a quilt. Maybe this will just be its own quilt of just all of these cute blocks. But anyway, I want to look and see if she's made more of these since I purchased them a couple years ago. I'm sure she has. But next up, I have Fresh Flowers by Quilting Life. Oh, this one's cute. I love the Christmas tree blocks on this. This one is, let's see, that is Handmade with Love by Camille Ross Kelly. I think with this I would make like this block. I don't know if I would make all of the blocks, but I would do a couple of these blocks in a Christmas quilt maybe. This one would be a nice scrappy quilt to make. Is sugar plums. Like as I make other quilts and I have scraps, like something like this would be a nice thing. This would be another labor of love. It says it's a layer cake project though, but I think this came with something I had ordered. Red Barn's quilt. Another Thimble Blossom string boat. Chelsea Stratton Designs. I like this one a lot too. This is The Three Bears by Stacey Stu. This is adorable. Quilting Life. I like that for just a nice scrappy. Swoon, which actually looks kind of similar to the triangles on a row quilt I made, but I think this one is a little bit harder to make. Although I haven't tried it. This one is the Sprouts quilt pattern. Let's see. Oh, this is another one that came with the Project Sweetwater kit. Oh, wouldn't that be a gorgeous bag? I also can see, because I want to try to make some of those cross-stitch portfolios that everyone likes. I could see like being really fancy and having that on the front. Oh, good ideas. Just need more time in the day to do it all. This one is Norway. Let's see that being a nice monochrome with different prints. This one would be a nice scrap quilt. Just to make some of these with all of the quilts from the year. That would be gorgeous. Or project bag. I feel like that's what I'm saying for all of them. Scraps and project bags all the way. Silver lining. This is one. I think I have two of these. Oh, Promenade. I already showed that one. And then Cuckoo. I would not make an entire quilt out of this, but I could definitely see making one of these for a quilt, a scrappy quilt. This is one that I bought at the PDF, and I love, I think they're Ohio stars. But I could totally see myself making an entire quilt. This is from Coriander Quilts. But I could totally see myself making an entire quilt, Ohio stars. And then I think these ones were from the Primitive Gatherings Club. I've got a bunch of their kits upstairs too. And so at some point I will get into making those. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my show and tell. I think next time I'm going to do some cross stitch kit show and tell. I have some different pattern and maybe a cross stitch pattern show and tell. I think it's fun to see what other people have, and I don't know. I like seeing what other people stash and learning about new designers and stuff. So hopefully enjoy this, and I will send another video tomorrow.